Hello everyone. Today's Cretaceous profile remake I'm going to be doing is one of the most famous Tyrannosaurid, and that is Tyrannosaurus rex, often called T-Rex, is a genus of theropod dinosaur. T-Rex is one of the best known represented theropods. It lived throughout what is now western North America on what was the island continent known as Lamidia. T-Rex had much wider range than other tyrannosaurids. Fossils are found in a variety of rock formations dating to the latest Campanian, Maastrichtian ages of the late Cretaceous period, between 72.7 to 66 million years ago, meaning T-Rex has never met Spinosaurids, Corydontosauриds, Abelisaurids, or Megaraptorans. And it was the last known member of the Tyrannosaurids, and among the last non-avian dinosaurs to exist before the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event. A tooth from what is now documented as Tyrannosaurus rex was found in July 1874 upon South Table Mountains of Colorado by Jarvis Hall. Student Peter T. Dotson, under the appraise of Professor Arthur Lakes near Golden, Colorado, in the early 1890s. John Bill Hatcher collected postcranial elements in eastern Wyoming. The fossils were believed to be from a large species Ornithomimus grandis, now Dinodon, but are now considered T-Rex remains. In 1892, Edward Drinker Cope found two vertebral fragments of a large dinosaur. Cope believed that the fragments belonged to an Agathocumid ceratopsid dinosaur and named them Monospondylus gigas, in reference to the numerous openings for blood vessels found in the bone. The M. gigas remains were in 1907 identified by Hatcher as those of a theropod rather than ceratopsid. Henry Fairfield Osborn recognized the similarities between Monospondylus gigas and T-Rex as early as 1917, by which time the second vertebra had been lost. Owing to the fragmentary nature of Monospondylus vertebra, Osborn did not synonymize the two genera, instead considering the older genus indeterminate. In June 2000, the Black Hills Institute found around 10% of the T-Rex skeleton, BHI 6248, at a site that might have been the original M. gigas locality. Barnum Brown, assistant curator of the American Museum of Natural History, found the first partial skeleton of T-Rex in eastern Wyoming in 1900. Brown found another partial skeleton in the Hell Creek Formation in Montana in 1902 comparison approximately 34 fossilized bones. Writing at the time, Brown said, Quarry number 1 contains a femur, pubes, humerus, 3 vertebrae, and 2 undetermined bones of a large carnivorous dinosaur, not described. By Marsh. I have never seen anything like it from the Cretaceous. Henry Fairfield Osborn, president of the American Museum of Natural History, named the second skeleton T-Rex in 1905. And its name means Tyrant Lizard King, emphasizing the animal's size and presumed dominance over other species of the time. Osborn named the other specimen Tyrannosaurus imperiosus in a paper in 1905. In 1906, Osborn recognized that the two skeletons were from the same species and selected Tyrannosaurus as the preferred name. The original Dinosaurus material resides in the collection of the Natural History Museum in London. In 1941, the T-Rex type specimen was sold to the Carnegie Museum of Natural History in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for $7,000. Dinosaurs would later be honored by the 2018 description of another species of Tyrannosaurid by Andrew MacDonald and colleagues, Dynamo Terror, whose name was chosen in reference to the 1905 name, as it had been a childhood favorite of MacDonald's. From the 1910s through the end of the 1950s, Buriam's discoveries remain the only specimen of Tyrannosaurus, as the Great Depression and wars kept many paleontologists out of the field. That's interesting. Beginning in the 1960s, there was renewed interest in T-Rex, resulting in the recovery of 42 skeletons, 5 to 80% complete by bone count, from Western North America. In 1967, Dr. William McManus located and recovered the skeleton named MOR008, which is 15% complete by bone count, and has reconstructed skull displayed at a museum of the Rockies. In the 1990s, saw numerous discoveries with nearly twice as many finds as in all previous years, including the most complete skeletons found to date. Sue Hendrich, sorry if I mispronounced the name, Hendrich Jackson, an amateur paleontologist, discovered the most complete, approximately 85%, and the largest Tyrannosaurus skeleton in the Hell Creek Formation. On August 12, 1990, the specimen name is Sue, named after the discoverer, was the object of the legal battle over its ownership in 1997. Litigation was settled in favor of Maurice Williams, the original landowner. The fossil collection was purchased by the Field Museum of Natural History at auction for $7.6 million, making it the most expensive dinosaur skeleton until the sale of Stan for $31.8 million in 2020. From 1998 to 1999, Field Museum of Natural History staff spent over 25,000 hours taking the rocks off the bones. The bones were then shipped to New Jersey, where the mount was constructed, then shipped back to Chicago for the final assembly. The mounted skeleton opened to the public on May 17, 2000. In the Field Museum of Natural History, a study of the specimen's fossilized bones showed that Sue reached full size at the age of 19 and died at the age of 28, the longest estimated life of any tyrannosaur known. Another Tyrannosaurus nicknamed Stan, BHI 3033, in honor of an amateur paleontologist, Stan Sakuri-san, was recovered from the Hell Creek Formation in 1992. Is the second most complete skeleton found, with 199 bones recovered, representing 70% of the total. This tyrannosaur also had many bone pathologies, including broken and healed ribs, a broken and healed neck, and a subterranean hole in the back of its head, about the size of a Tyrannosaurus tooth. In 1998, Bucky Dolphinger noted a T-Rex toe exposed above ground, making Dolphinger, who was 20 years old at the time, the youngest person to discover a Tyrannosaurus. The specimen, dubbed Bucky in honor of its discoverer, was a young adult, 3.0 meters, 10 feet tall, and 11 meters, 35 feet long. Bucky is the first Tyrannosaurus to be found that preserved a furcula, which is a wishbone. Bucky is primarily displayed at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. In the summer of 2000, crews organized by Jack Horner discovered 5 Tyrannosaurus skeletons near the Fort Peak Reservoir. In 2001, a 50% complete skeleton of a juvenile Tyrannosaurus was discovered in the Hell Creek Formation by a crew from the Burpee Museum of Natural History, dubbed Jane, BMRP 2002.4.1. The find was thought to have been the first known of a pygmy tyrannosaurid, Nanotyrannus, but subsequent research revealed that it is more likely a juvenile Tyrannosaurus, and the most complete juvenile example known. Jane is exhibited at the Burpee Museum of Natural History in today. In 2002, a skeleton named Y. Rex, discovered by an amateur collector, Dan Wells and Don Ryrick, had 114 bones and was 38% complete. The dig was concluded over 3 weeks in 2004 by the Black Hills Institute, with the first live online Tyrannosaurus excavation providing daily reports, photos, and video. In 2006, Montana State University revealed that it possessed the largest Tyrannosaurus skull yet discovered, from a specimen named MOR008, measuring 5 feet or 152 centimeters long. Subsequent comparison indicated that the longest head was 136.5 centimeters, 53.7 inches, from specimen LACM 23844, and the widest head was 90.2 centimeters, 35.5 inches, from Sioux. T-Rex is one of the largest land carnivores of all time. One of the largest and most complete specimens, nicknamed Sioux, is located at a Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago. Sioux measured 12.3 to 12.4 meters, 40.4 to 40.7 feet long, was 3.66 to 3.96 meters, 12 or 13 feet tall at the hips, and according to most recent studies using a variety of techniques, maximum body mass have been estimated approximately 8.4 to 8.46 metric tons, 9.26 to 933 short tons. A specimen nicknamed Scotty, located at a Royal Saskatchewan Museum, is reported to measure 13 meters 43 feet in length, using a mass estimation technique that extrapolates from the circumference of the femur. Scotty was estimated as the largest known specimen at 8.87 metric tons, 9.78 short tons in body mass. But there is another larger specimen, but it is not even confirmed. A specimen, Ed Cope, named after the paleontologist of the same name, is a Tyrannosaurus specimen discovered in South Dakota by Bucky Delfinger, if I'm mispronouncing the name, in 1999 at the same sites as AMNH 3982 excavation of this 10% complete skeleton began in 2000. The known material includes a partial skull, several vertebrae, and ribs, a very wide femur with a length of 1,300 millimeter and a circumference of 630 millimeters, is also known. Not every adult Tyrannosaurus specimen recovered is as big historically. Average adult mass estimate have varied widely over the years, from as low as 4.5 metric tons, 5.0 short tons, to more than 7.2 metric tons, 7.9 short tons, with most modern estimates ranging between 5.4 metric tons, 6.0 short tons, and 8.0 metric tons, 8.8 short tons. Well, everyone considered the T-Rex the largest, but Spinosaurus holds the crown as the largest dinosaur. The largest known T-Rex skull measured up to 1.54 meters, 5 feet in length. Large fenestrate openings in the skull reduced weight, as all carnivorous theropods in other respects. Tyrannosaurus' skull was significantly different from those of large non-tyrannosaurid theropods. It was extremely wide at the rear, but had a narrow snout, allowing unusually good binocular vision. The skull bones were massive, and the nasals and some other bones were fused, preventing movement between them, and many were presumed contained a honeycomb of tiny air space, and thus lighter. These and other skull strengthening features are part of the Tyrannosaurid trend towards an increasing powerful bite, which easily surpasses that of all non-tyrannosaurids. The tip of the upper jaw was U-shaped. Most non-tyrannosaurid carnivores had V-shape upper jaws, which increased the amount of tissue and bone of tyrannosaur could rip out with one bite, although it has increased stress on the front teeth. And for its classification, Tyrannosaurus is the type genus of a subfamily Tyrannosauridae. The family Tyrannosauridae and the subfamily Tyrannosaurine. In other words, it is the standard by which paleontologists decided whether to include other species in the same group. Other members of the Tyrannosaurine subfamily include the North American Daspletosaurus and the Asian Tarbosaurus, both of which have occasionally been synonymized with Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannosaurids were once commonly thought to be descendants of an earlier large theropods, such as Megalosaurus, and Carnosaurus, although more recently they were reclassified with the generally smaller coelurosaurs. Mainly phylogenetic analysis have found Tarbosaurus bataar to be the sister taxon of T-Rex. The discovery of a tyrannosaurid, Lithornax, further indicates that Tarbosaurus and Tyrannosaurus are closely related, forming a clade with Asian Tyrannosaurid, Zoochink tyrannus with Lithornax being their sister taxon. A further study from 2016, Steve Brostout, Thomas Carr, and colleagues also indicates that Tyrannosaurus may have been an immigrant from Asia, as well as possible descendant of Tarbosaurus. And it's not known whether T-Rex had feathers or it was scaly. But the discovery of feathered dinosaurs led to debate regarding whether and to what extent dinosaurs might have been feathered. Filamentous structures, which are commonly recognized as the precursors of feathers, have been reported in small-bodied basal tyrannosaurid D. Long from the early Cretaceous of Yakshan Formation of China in 2004. Because integrate impressions of larger tyrannosauroids known at the time showed evidence of scales. The researchers who studied D. Long speculated that encircling feathers might have been lost by larger species due to their smaller surface to volume ratio. The subsequent study of a giant species, Tyrannosaurus, also from the formation, showed that even some large Tyrannosauroids had feathers covering much of their bodies, casting doubt on the hypothesis that they were size-related feature. A 2017 study reviewed known skin impression of Tyrannosauroids, including those of Tyrannosaurus specimen nicknamed Y-Rex, which preserved patches of mucinous scales on the tail, hips, and neck. The study concluded that feather covering of large Tyrannosauroids, such as Tyrannosaurus, was, if present, limited to upper side of the trunk. And for T-Rex's arms, it has been stated that it had weak arms that's not used for anything, but there are studies that it used its arms to catch struggling prey. And for speed, scientists have produced a wide range possible maximum running speed for T-Rex, mostly around 9 meters per second, 32 kilometers or 20 miles per hour, but as low as 4.5 to 6.8 meters per second, 16 to 24 kilometers or 10 to 15 miles per hour, and as high as 20 meters per second, 72 kilometers per hour or 45 miles per hour. Though it running this speed is very unlikely, Tyrannosaurus was a bulky and heavy carnivore, so it is unlikely to run very fast compared to other theropods like Carnotaurus and Giganotosaurus. Researchers have relied on various estimate techniques because while there are many tracks of large theropods walking, none show evidence of running. Dinosaurs would prey on hadrosaurs like Edmontosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Triceratops, and maybe even Alamosaurus, to which we possess no evidence if T-Rex ever hunted Alamosaurus, unless they find a bite mark from T-Rex. And for its paleoecology, dinosaurs ranged from Canada in the north to at least New Mexico and the south of Namibia. During this time, Triceratops was the major herbivore in the northern portion of its range, while titanosaurines like Alamosaurus dominated its southern range. Tyrannosaurus remains have been discovered in different ecosystems, including inland and coastal subtropical and semi-arid plains. Several notable Tyrannosaurus remains have been found in Hell Creek Formation. During the Maastrichtian, this area was subtropical with a warm and humid climate. The flora includes trees like dawn redwood. T-Rex shared its ecosystem with ceratopsians like Leptoceratops, Torosaurus, Triceratops, Edmontosaurus inactans, Parksosaurid, Thescalosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Denversaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, and Silverpolus, and theropods like Ornithomimus, Struthiomimus, Archaeoraptor, Dakotaraptor, Pectenodon, and Anzu. In its southern range, Tyrannosaurus lived alongside the titanosaur mentioned Alamosaurus, Torosaurus, Brachioceratops, and Ochoceratops. Edmontosaurus, Cretaceous, and possible Graposaurus, and Glyptodon pelta, Ochoraptosaurus, possibly Troodon, and Richostea, Quetzalcoatlus. The region is thought to have been dominated by semi-arid inland and plains, following the probable retreat of the western interior seaway as global seas levels fail. T-Rex prey on pretty much anything, even one of their own. There are studies that there are bite marks on T-Rexes that they cannibalized or eaten a carcass of a T-Rex. And population estimates. According to a study published in 2021 by Charles Marshall, the total population of adult Tyrannosaurus at any given time, perhaps 20,000 individuals, with computer estimation also suggesting a total population no lower than 1,300 and no higher than 328,000. Some authors themselves suggest that the estimated of 20,000 individuals is probably lower than what should be expected, especially when factoring in the disease pandemics could easily wipe out such a small population over a span of the genus existence. It is estimated that have been about 127,000 generations, and that added up to a total roughly 2.5 billion animals until their extinction. And that's it for T-Rex. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and see you later, guys.